Alright, it is time now to give my full review for System Rift. The follow-up from Desperate Measure. This will not be an extremely long review because there's some things for me to say. Even though this was the more fun and more involved DLC, I really don't have a lot to review on it. All I really want to say is just how awesome System Rift was as a DLC. Great continuation of the game. The essence of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. A very good playthrough of that essence. Definitely System Rift is better than Desperate Measures. Definitely 100%. Also, System Rift is longer. Takes longer to get through. And if you really take your time like I did, you can see it was like I did like 5 videos that were an hour or an hour and 20 minutes long. So that's like maybe 6 hours all combined there of that time that I spent. That's really good for a DLC, right? So if you take your time and do the optionals and do the secondaries and hack everything and log into every computer and read everything, you can really enjoy System Rift quite a bit. And I did. I liked the length of it. It was longer than Desperate Measures, so that for me is a plus. Already right there, it was better. But there's one aspect of it that really impressed me, and that is the fact that we had a new location to explore that was different than anything else in the game, the main game. It was a new area, an area that we saw in the game the whole time we played the main storyline. And it was this palisade blade that kind of went up and stuck out over the water. We saw this in the background of the game during, while we were in the open world city the entire time we were there. But we never really got to explore inside that facility during the main part of the game. So for me, this was exciting because it's a location we saw the whole time and we finally got to explore it. We finally got to go inside it and up it and in the server rooms that are in it and explore it. That's just really, really awesome to me that they took an iconic piece of the game that you've seen the whole time and made new content out of it. And like, here you go. Now you get to go inside it. Wow, I love that. And we also saw a little bit of the outside around it as well. What's, around the base of it. We got to explore outside there too, a little bit. And so that was just really awesome. I mean, for that, they had to create new art assets. They had to create, new materials, or maybe use the same materials, but spice them up a little. They had to make that whole section brand new. I mean, that was new content, literally. And so I just really applaud the developers and everybody who made all that for creating all that and giving us that and giving us something new that we didn't see in the main storyline. They could have just said, oh, here's somewhere in Prague you've seen 100 times. No, they gave us a new location. And that's really what set the environment for this DLC, System Rift. That really set the environment. It was really, really enjoyable because of that. Made it unique and it made it fun. So I just have all the praise in the world to give them for that. Next to that, the gameplay. Also fun. It had all the elements of the game. You had hacking, of course, breaking into computers, stealth, of course, or you could have just run in and killed everybody if you wanted to. I chose to do it non-lethal. That's the way I did it. But you could just kill everybody. You could do turret domination, robot domination. You could, you could set them on friendly fire if you wanted to and do it that way. And you would have had easy access to everything doing it that way also. And, kill the alarm panels and so forth. So you could choose to be stealthy, or you could choose to be Rambo, or you could do a hybrid approach. You could choose to be lethal, you could choose to be non-lethal. So how you play this is really cool. You could have snuck around the, you know, underneath through the vents the whole time and not gone right through the front. Or you could have gone through the front. So it offered that versatile gameplay that the main game is really known for. You could play this one in any way, and I enjoyed that. The NSN stuff is not my most favorite stuff going into the virtual world. They did bring uniqueness to that, though, because we did it in the main storyline with Miller in Miller's office. But with this one, they added another element to that. They added puzzles, basically. The puzzles got harder and harder, almost Portal style, as I pointed out. So you had to figure out those puzzles. And using the vision to see invisible things was a nice new element they added that wasn't there before. And then at the end, it really tripped me up. The door that was there the whole time, but I couldn't see it without the vision. Yeah, that was very clever also. Now, I don't know what was on the computer. It was encrypted, DZMG or something. I don't know what all that meant. It was encrypted. It didn't seem to do anything for me, but I'm sure it is some kind of a secret. So if it is, let me know. What did I miss there? What did I not do? Obviously, I didn't do something. Or I didn't see something or understand it, but it obviously, I think, has to mean something, right? So there's that. Otherwise, I'm extremely happy I completed the secondaries and optionals, placed the figurine on the desk, went into the CEO's office, did all the optionals, all the secondaries, even did the finally figuring out what was in the server room 209. Turning off the gas on that one really tripped me up also, because that panel was hidden, but I didn't think to look in that room with the vision. Remember, in this game, always get the vision. The vision is just really useful for everything. Remote hacking is also extremely useful. So yeah, I'm happy with all those objectives and everything I completed. Got the main storyline completed. I'm happy with the choices I made. Don't think I would do it any differently, to be honest. The only other way that I would play this would be a lethal playthrough where I just go in and kill everybody. Otherwise, I'm happy. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't get the lethal or the non-lethal achievement because of those two people that died in the alley early on and the cops killed them, and I didn't mean for that to happen, but it did. That was an accident on my part. So I guess that takes away the non-lethal playthrough achievement for me. Because I think there is a non-lethal achievement. But obviously I didn't get it in this round because, well, of that. So that's one change I would make, is not do that and then get the non-lethal achievement. Otherwise, I'm okay with all my choices. So this was A+ for me. Great, great DLC content there for Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Really, really ending the game in a positive light for me. Okay, this will now start my review of Jensen Stories, A Criminal Past DLC, plus the other 2 DLCs I've already played in the game. I have now completed all 3 DLCs, Desperate Measures, System Rift, and A Criminal Past. First thing I want to say is, once again, just a big thank you and shout out to all the developers and artists and writers that made this game possible and made the DLC content possible. They were excellent, and I appreciate the extra gameplay that we were given in Deus Ex Mankind Divided. It definitely needed more gameplay because the main storyline mission, a lot of people said, ended kind of quickly, and if you didn't do all the optionals or extras, it just kind of seemed to end quickly. So giving us more story to play through the DLCs is a really big bonus, and these were very decently lengthy DLCs if you spent the time in them properly and did the optionals and points of interest. Just like the main game, they can last a while. Now, Desperate Measures was pretty short, but System Rift made up for that and was pretty lengthy, and so was A Criminal Past, very lengthy. I was really impressed in A Criminal Past by the decisions that you would get to make that would change the outcome of the game. For example, do you take the biocell or do you not? Do you take the fixer's pill or do you not? You could have chosen to gone through this with none of your augmentations if you wanted. Or you could have chosen to take the biocell and then detrimental things might have happened. Or you could take the pill and then you end up, yes, getting your augmentations, but your vision's impaired. I ended up taking the pill, so of course my vision was impaired. I also took a second pill, but they never followed up on what that second pill did. I wish they would have shown that or had some way to utilize that in some fashion, but I never figured out what that second pill did from the fixer. That's the only thing hanging there that did not get answered for me. Then you have the whole prison riot thing. If you choose to give the biocell to Red Shoes, he does the prison riot, and it makes it a lot easier for you to get around the facility at the end of the game with all the guards taken out. But if you had not, you would have had to sneak around all the guards and take them out yourself. Would have been a totally different game then. So it's basically two different games. And that's in DLC content that they give you those options. Then, of course, you can pursue points of interest if you wish, finding out the death of Wilberg, for example. But if you had not done any of that, when you get to Guerrero at the end, Mejia at the end, what would your options have been? They would have been less full. You would not have even thought that he was the killer, right? You would have been led to think maybe it's the fixer. And then maybe you go down that route. So it could have been a whole different in-game scenario if you had not followed those points of interest. And if you had not gone back to Stinger and got the info to break into a safe, got the card to go into a safe and get that data pad, you wouldn't have found that out either. So there's a lot of story elements like that in the game that really bring a lot of depth to the DLC, A Criminal Past. And I'm just really impressed by that. The ending, though, I think that could have gone really so many different ways. I think you could have probably killed the fixer or had a fight with Guerrero and killed him. I think you could have left the prisoner there at the prison, or maybe you could have brought Guerrero with you or killed Guerrero. I think so many different things there could have happened. I liked the fact that we talked him out of killing the fixer. I liked that. And I'm okay with letting the fixer go. The only thing I wasn't okay with was, in my gameplay, not bringing Guerrero with us. I think we should have brought him with us to answer for what he did and find some help. In this playthrough, though, I let him go. I think I would have done the dialogue a little differently to try to not do that. That's the only thing I would have changed in my gameplay at the end. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty safe and non-chaotic end result there. Also, speaking of non-chaos, I did not kill anybody in the entire game. And for that, I got an achievement, Code of Conduct, so I liked that. Now, I could have done it a different way. You could have just killed everybody and gone in, which was definitely an option. So I like that, once again, you could choose to play it by taking everybody out quietly or killing everybody. You could choose to be very stealthy and not be seen, or you could choose to do, be seen and kill everybody. I think ghosting this one would be very difficult, though. There's a lot of scenarios where it's hard to not be detected. There are so many turret cameras, so many drones, so many cameras, and to not be seen, period, or raise any alarms at all and do ghost would be very challenging, and I'm not up for that. That's not how I want to play the game. I just want to have fun. But I suppose if you really wanted to be challenged, this would be a good one for that. I really liked the storyline. This idea that Adam Jensen, this is his first mission with TF-29, and one of his first missions is to go undercover in a prison, stripped of his augs. what a compelling story. That was a really, really neat story, so I enjoyed that. A lot of fun. The only thing I'm left with, though, at the end of all of these 3 DLCs, is that none of them dealt with that time period we learned about in Jensen's past, where he was taken right after Panchaea in the last game. He was taken to Alaska and given these experimental augs that we found out in the main game. That storyline is never explored, so that leaves an opening. That would have been a great DLC, to be honest with you. That would have been a great DLC story. It could also be just a great story on its own as a main story game. Unfortunately, none of that was explored in these DLCs or in this game, so that's an opening that's there for the future. The franchise is in question, but that storyline is open for the future. If somebody wanted to ever pick up and do a sequel to this game, there's a starting place they could go at, and I think that would be a lot of fun to explore. And it also would have made a great DLC mission if they had chose to do that. But what they chose to do was to give us 3 unique DLC missions that were not in the main game, but it's still connected to the main game. We had one area that was like a command post in Desperate Measures. We had in System Rift, we had the blade, that thing that we always saw in the background of the game. We actually got to explore it, so that was like really meta. Then you have a Criminal Past, which is entirely different location. New art assets we've not seen before, out in the desert, away from Prague. And that was just really mind-blowing. Taking us to a different environment and location was really cool. Also, new art assets and graphics in the game that once again looked really good for a 2016 game. Really good. Still holds up today. I'm playing this in 2023. I played all of these DLCs, or at least a Criminal Past in 2023, the others in 2022. And the graphics hold up today. They still look good. Will they age over time? Absolutely. Right now, they still look good and very crisp. I played this on a GeForce RTX 3080 Ti, and the performance was really good while I was recording. I'm playing at 1440p, maximum graphics settings. Everything is max as it can go. And while I was recording video, I was mainly around 70 FPS. There were some places where it was much higher, 100 FPS, 120 FPS. But in the really intense areas where it was more graphically intense, I was around 65 to 70 FPS at the lowest. So still smooth, still absolutely smooth. And that's on a 3080 Ti. So it is a graphically demanding game even on modern hardware right now. And that will ease up over the years. But it was very enjoyable. If I had played this back in the day when it had first come out, it would have been very challenging for video cards, absolutely, running this at max. So I'm glad I'm playing this later, where video cards can now play this at 70 FPS, and it's just a smooth experience at absolute maximum graphics. And that allowed me to have a really good gameplay experience in this entire game, including the DLCs, and enjoy it. And I really did enjoy it. And so that's pretty much the conclusion now for these DLCs. I have played all 3 of them. I enjoyed all 3 of them. Which one was my favorite? I think System Rift is up there. I think a Criminal Past is up there. It's hard to say. Is System Rift or a Criminal Past my favorite? I might go with a Criminal Past. I think it might slightly edge out System Rift, in my opinion. Slightly edge out System Rift. And then under that would be Desperate Measures. So I think I would go a Criminal Past, System Rift, and then Desperate Measures. That's my order of what I enjoyed best in the DLC content. I also, of course, enjoyed the main game itself. So you can see that playthrough completely on my channel, and you can watch each of the DLC playthroughs on my channel as well. And that's pretty much going to end it. I don't think there's anything more for me to do or play. There are a couple of more. I take that back. There are like what is there? There's like the Breach stuff. That's what it is. I'm not going to do it. It's not my thing. I know what it involves. It's a bunch of like hacking and collecting things and stuff, but it's not storyline. It's not lore. It's not game. It's just hacking stuff to like earn points and stuff just for fun. And you kind of rank with other people and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that, but I have played all the story elements in the game, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So that's where I'm going to call it. This is going to be the end of my Deus Ex Mankind Divided playthroughs. I have now done everything that I possibly can in the game, except for maybe going back and doing some different dialogue choices that I might go do on my own, but I just won't record them. But I'll do them on my own just to see where they would have led. But otherwise, that's it. I have thoroughly enjoyed this ride, and I hope all of you have thoroughly enjoyed these videos and enjoyed this ride and enjoyed my gameplay and what I have brought to the table here on presenting this game to the world. Hopefully, because it's a lot of fun. If you've never played it, go play it yourself. Even though it's an older game, it is a lot of fun and has so many options and ways you can play it. Everybody's outcome can be different, and that's what I like about it. So there you go. If you all have enjoyed this ride with me on the channel, consider subscribing to the channel. I have more games like this. I have lots more gameplays that I've done and will do in the future. And if you like this video, give it a like as well. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.